You guys sent me the hottest baseball takes on Twitter, and today I'll be deciding if I'm buying or selling these takes. Quick reminder, if you want to be featured in a future buy or sell episode, make sure you follow me over on my Twitter at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links will be in the description. Let's start diving into these because you guys sent me some absolutely crazy ones. Let's get started off with a New York Mets one. This is an absolute banger coming in from my buddy Michael Morgan, who says Jonathan, Brandon Sproat, and Nolan McLean will have better careers than Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner, and Tim Lincecum. Comparison made for obvious reasons. Now, I get the reason why Mets fans could be comparing these three guys to those three, but it is going to be almost impossible for them to live up to the hype and success that Matt Cain, Bumgarner, and Lincecum had. 3 World Series, Cy Young Award winners, some of the best pitchers in baseball, some of the best playoff pitchers of all time. I hope and pray and beg that I'm wrong about this one, but unfortunately I am going to have to sell. Jonathan is awesome. Jonathan looks like he's going to be a future ace in Major League Baseball for years and years to come. Nolan McLean just made his Major League debut and looked phenomenal against the Mariners. The sweeper, the curveball, those are 2 of the nastiest pitchers in baseball right now, and the guy just made his debut. And then Brandon Sproat is kind of that third guy who had the shine more so last year than this year, but over the last few months has made adjustments and has really broken out again at the AAA level. I think they're going to be very, very good pitchers for the Mets, but again, comparing them to what is one of the best 3 starting pitching rotation guys of modern baseball, especially with how successful they were, how much winning they had, it's going to be pretty impossible, so I am going to have to sell. At Torque Tank says Riley Greene is overrated and Tigers should trade him this offseason. Oh my God. Dude, I've been seeing Tigers fans talk about this more and more, and I can't even wrap my head around it. Yes, I know Riley Greene strikes out a lot and he chases, but Riley Greene is one of the best outfielders in Major League Baseball. And truthfully, every single fan base does this. It's what have you done for me lately? And I know Riley Greene has been struggling recently. When we look at his splits in the month of July and August, he has like a 700 OPS, maybe even below 700 at this point. But if you look at when the Tigers got extremely hot and had their long win streaks, May and June, Riley Greene was a big reason for it. So this Tigers team, of course, is not nearly as good or successful or even dangerous without Riley Greene in this lineup. Still, even with some cold months in there, Riley Greene for the season has an 821 OPS, nearly 30 home runs, almost 100 RBIs, an OPS plus at 125, and that is with some cold streaks. He's also, 24, turning 25 in September? Tigers fans, stop it. Every single team in Major League Baseball would love to take Riley Greene off your hands if you don't want him. This is an absolute sell, and I know Torque Tank personally. I know he is doing this as a bit of a bit. I know he doesn't actually feel this well, but yeah, sell. No, you don't get rid of Riley Greene. He's a beast. Ash Brophy says the Yankees will miss the playoffs this season. Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman will be fired, and as much as this is my dream scenario as a Mets fan who hates the Yankees, I don't think the Yankees are missing the playoffs. I don't know how dangerous they'll be in the postseason. What really matters is how healthy Aaron Judge is. That team without Aaron Judge doesn't do anything. That team with Aaron Judge has the ability to make a World Series run. We know this. We've seen the Yankees. We know the story. Now, that being said, I do think without a World Series berth, I think Aaron Boone is fired. I think it is World Series or bust for him. For Brian Cashman, I think it's going to have to be a first-round exit. It would be getting bounced from the wild card or even maybe being bounced from the ALDS early. I just don't see the Yankees firing Cashman. They've had all the opportunity in the world to, and they still haven't. He's relatively a good GM. I think he was better in the early 2000s than he has been since the year 2009, but the Yankees keep on winning. They're going to make the playoffs. Boone is the guy truly on the hot seat, even though I personally think it's Brian Cashman. So I have to sell this because I think they make the playoffs, but I don't hate the idea of Boone and or Cashman being fired this year. Man, just a lot of sells to start off this episode. All right, let's take a look at this next tweet. This one comes in from Mumu. Okay, this one caught me off guard. Mumu replied saying, you can get up to $1,000 in NVDA stock with a qualifying deposit by downloading the Moomoo app or going to start.moomoo.com/GiraffeNeckMarc. Oh yeah. We're buying this one. Okay, so this one's not actually a baseball take, but it does actually make sense. And big shout out to Mumu for sponsoring today's video. Mumu is a super clean investing app that I've been using a lot lately. If you're like me and you care about your financial future, you've got to be using Mumu for your investing. There's no nonsense, there's no hidden fees, and they make it easy to understand and build your own portfolio. You don't need to be an expert. Even if you're just getting started, it's so simple. And they're even giving away free stock, like I mentioned with NVDA. And if you're a Mets fan or in the New York area, you can get free tickets to Mumu Monday games at Citi Field to watch the Mets if you have an account on Mumu, which unlike some of the previous takes that we've seen, this is an absolute buy. So make sure you click my link in the description or scan the QR code that has been on screen this entire time. Download Mumu, sign up, make a qualifying deposit, and you can get up to $1,000 in NVDA stock. Or maybe you're a Mets fan and you want tickets to Mumu Mondays at Citi Field. Thank you to Mumu for sponsoring this video. Now back to more of these hot takes. All right, Duke comes in and says the Blue Jays won't have any problems in the American American League playoffs, but there are 4 or 5 teams in the National League that could give them trouble. And as crazy as it sounds, because I'm truthfully not still completely bought in on the Blue Jays, I at some point have to take away my bias and my opinion and just see what is actually happening. And the Blue Jays are playing really good baseball. They're getting good pitching. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. They're playing phenomenal defense, especially with Varsho out in center field. The defense has been clean. That's what good baseball teams do, and good baseball teams win games at the rate that the Blue Jays are. The American League is super weak. There's really only one team that I think, as a Blue Jays fan, would scare you in the American League, and it's the Mariners, but they're so hot and cold. The way the Blue Jays have been playing, basically since they played the Mets early in the year, they have arguably been the best team in Major League Baseball. So I'm going to buy this take. I agree. I don't think the American League is truly going to be a problem for the Blue Jays. I don't know if they're going to make the World Series. Playoffs are difficult. Teams get hot and cold. On paper, though, I think the Blue Jays can be completely fine and have a World Series run. When they get there, I do think that the National League has better teams. I think the National League is deeper, more talented. That's where I agree. I think this is a perfect take by Duke. Another buy to the tally. Whoa, Danny Tanger says the Red Sox won the Devers trade. I feel like there's a lot of revisionist history going on with this trade, specifically because the Red Sox have been playing better since they traded Devers and the Giants have gone downhill. That's a weird thing that has happened, and it's something that we definitely have to consider when we talk about this Rafael Devers trade for years and years in the future. The Red Sox were having a bad season. Rafael Devers seemed to be a problem in that clubhouse possibly. They got rid of him. Things turned around. They're a playoff team. The Giants were a playoff team at the time, brought in Rafael Devers. You thought that that was going to be the impact bat that they needed. It was going to be a huge lift off their shoulders offensively, and they've gone completely downhill. That being said, it's not telling the full story because I don't think either of this is Rafael Devers' fault. You want to know why? Because so far on the season, Rafael Devers has an 846 OPS, an OPS plus at 138. The Giants want him to play first base. He goes and plays first base. With the Giants, he may not have the 900 OPS that he had in Boston, but he is still a 20% better than league average hitter so far at the plate in a much more difficult park to hit in San Francisco. Against better competition, there is an adjustment period. When you go from playing in Fenway Park your entire career, which is one of the more hitter-friendly parks, to then going to play in Oracle, which is one of the most pitcher-friendly parks, there's going to be an adjustment. But Rafael Devers is still very good. He's still getting on base at a very high clip. He still has a good OPS plus. The power numbers are completely fine. 9 home runs in 53 games as opposed to 15 home runs in 73 games with the Red Sox. Again, a lot of revisionist history is happening because now people are seeing the results of the teams. But as we know in baseball, one player does not make or break a team ever in a season, and Rafael Devers is the same case. So I am selling this one. The Red Sox did not win the Rafael Devers trade, especially because they then traded James Tibbs, who was the big prospect, to go get Dustin May, which never made any sense. But maybe mentally it did something for the Red Sox because they are playing better baseball. Ultimately, I think it's just going to end up being a wash for both sides. The Red Sox saved money. The Giants got an impact bat. A win-win for both, even though that's a loser move by the Red Sox still to this day. But I'm selling this take. The Red Sox did not win the Devers trade. It's way too early to tell, honestly. So quickly, I just want to dunk on Glitch FR here, who says Shohei Ohtani is not as good as a player as many think, which is just completely false. What are we talking about? Why do people choose to be this kind of guy? Don't be Glitch FR. Don't be the guy who's like, Shohei Ohtani isn't that good. I don't know what planet you were born on to make you think that Shohei Ohtani is not good, because honestly, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's blender brain. Every single stat in the world would tell you that Shohei Ohtani is one of the best players in baseball, if not the best player in baseball. In terms of home runs this year, he's third with 43. In terms of WRC plus, he's second, only behind Aaron Judge with a 173 WRC plus. You want to talk average? He's inside the top 25 in batting average at 285. On base percentage, he is top 5 in baseball at 392. Slugging percentage, he's number 2 at 621. And OPS wise, he's also number 2 at 1.014. Only one of 2 qualified players with an OPS above 1,000. Oh yeah, and he pitches and is really good. I don't know how you can be this stupid. I'm sorry if this is offensive to you, Glitch FR, but we need to make these kind of takes go away because this is like just, it's so dumb. I shouldn't even give it attention, but it's probably good content that I'm roasting this guy. How can you think that Shohei Ohtani is not as good as many think? He is actually probably even better than most people think. But hey, it's cool and trendy to like go against the norms and what is actually true nowadays. So, I mean, let's just move on. Get a real take now. This one comes in from Ben and said, Houston Astros shock nobody and make another World Series appearance. Ooh, this one's so tough because I'll be honest, until the Astros don't make a run or aren't successful in the postseason for multiple years, I just won't believe it. I know last season they got knocked out by the Tigers. That was pretty crazy. This year, Framber and Hunter Brown, like I just don't know how they lose a wild card series or even a DS series with those two guys on the mound for probably most of the games. The team is really good still. The bullpen is one of the best in baseball. The starting pitching is really solid. The offense is what weirdly scares me. They've been ice cold recently. Christian Walker still really isn't hitting. Jeremy Pena has cooled off a little bit. The outfield has a bunch of holes. This team is not complete by any means offensively. That being said, I do buy that I think nobody would be shocked if the Astros make another run. Maybe Astros fans would be the most surprised. I feel like Astros fans are a little bit nervous right now, and rightfully so, but you have Correa, you have Altuve, you still have a lot of really good core players with great pitching. This is a team that's probably just hitting a weird snag because the season's so long, and still one of the favorites in the American League right now. So I'll buy that. Ooh, I really like this one from Seth. He says, Kyle Schwarber hits 500 career home runs and makes the Hall of Fame. This is going to sound crazy, but this is an absolute home run. Buy. I think you guys are probably hip to it because you watch this channel. You're probably obsessed with baseball just like me, but in case you're not, Kyle Schwarber is like kind of unbelievable. And right now for his career, he has 327 home runs at the time of recording. At age 32, he turns 33 in March of next year. So this is his 32-year-old season. Kyle Schwarber is a guy who is probably going to DH for the rest of his year until he's in his 40s. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. He eventually will slow down. We know this. But right now, 327 home runs at this exact moment. Let's just say he ends the season at 43 home runs. And he's going to play until he's 40, right? So that's another 8 full seasons. Quick math, he has to hit about 180 home runs over the next 8 seasons to get to 500 home runs, which nobody in Major League Baseball history outside of the steroids guys have not made the Hall of Fame when you hit over 500 home runs. I mean, that's an unbelievable number. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber's going to do it. Again, 180 home runs over the next 8 seasons comes out to what? A little over 20 home runs a season. And that's if he hits no more home runs this year. And that's if he only hits 20 home runs a year for the next few. He is going to smash 500 career home runs as long as he stays healthy. He is one of the premier power hitters that we've seen in our lifetime. Kyle Schwarber's an absolute beast. I am buying this take. He is going to hit 500 home runs. Kyle Schwarber then will be in the Hall of Fame. Remember when the Cubs non-tendered him? What an idiot. Another Tigers one here, but let's talk about them. This one comes in from Sean and says, somehow the Tigers doing nothing at the deadline. They go on a run, win the World Series after their bullpen gives up less than 7 runs the whole postseason. It's a little too deep. Let's just talk about the Tigers going on a run, winning the World Series. I think it is totally possible. I think that they definitely can do it. The problem for me is their starting pitching. And truthfully, at the end of the day, I think you need to have some more dogs in that rotation than the Tigers do. I think they can make a run, but I don't know if they have the ability right now to be a legit World Series team on paper. I think they are a contender. I think they can get hot, but I do get scared when Charlie Morton is getting a lot of innings at age 42. And I do get scared with Jack Flaherty kind of being like the second or third best arm in this rotation. Like, he is a good pitcher. He helped the Dodgers. They're going to need a lot of help. And I feel like the bullpen has looked a little more human recently, which is a little bit scary. I don't know if I can really trust Kyle Finnegan closing out games to win a World Series. And then at the plate, I like their hitters, but do they have enough? I hate being anti-Tigers because I don't want to be. I'm rooting for the Tigers. I want them to do well. I just don't know if this is the version that is going to be that World Series team for Detroit. So unfortunately, I am going to have to sell this. I think they're getting closer and closer and closer, and AJ Hinch is doing a great job. Next year could be their season. Go splash in free agency. Could they be a team that goes after Kyle Tucker? That'd be kind of sick. I mean, you're playing Wenzel Perez out there. Kyle Tucker would look a lot better. AJ Hinch connection. Ooh, I'm totally buying that they're going to sign Kyle Tucker this offseason. If they choose to spend money, which they used to, haven't recently, they used to, that'd be kind of sick. Not what you asked, though. I am selling that. I think that they're going to win the World Series and dominate doing so. Navy, the Matt Brash fan, says that Mr. Kurtz is the best first baseman in baseball. This is a serious conversation to have. Mr. Nicholas Kurtz is definitely one of the best first basemen in baseball. I still think he might slightly give that crown to Vladdy. We have more data, we have more history, and Vladdy is still having a really good season. Vladdy slash line on the year, 298 average, 396 on base, 498 slugging, a WRC plus at 149. He's got 21 home runs. He's driven 69 RBIs. Like, nice. He's walking a ton. He's not striking out at all. I think that there's a super possibility, and it wouldn't be crazy to say that Vlad Jr. is still the best first baseman in Major League Baseball. But Mr. Kurtz is putting up quite the fight because in about 40 less games, he has 25 homers, 66 RBIs, which he's playing in a different ballpark, so I think we can adjust those numbers a little bit down. Still incredibly impressive. A 306 average, 390 on base, 635 slugging is crazy for a WRC plus at 176, which is by far the highest among first basemen in his plate appearances. He's technically not qualified yet. I'd be willing to put Mr. Kurtz at number 2 definitively. I think Vlad still holds the number 1 spot. I think Mr. Kurtz is 2. And then you have Alonso, Freeman, Harper, Olsen, all those guys, Michael Busch as well, kind of hovering around that next group below. But definitively, the best 2 first basemen right now in Major League Baseball are Vlad Jr. Verlander, then Mr. Kurtz in that order, in my opinion. So I do sell this, but you are very close. And I think you can make an argument that he is. I'm just choosing Vladdy as of right now. Joao says, Dodgers lose the West to the Padres. This one, I am going to say. I don't think the Dodgers lose the West. I think the Dodgers kind of have everybody right where they want us. They're playing not particularly good baseball. I wouldn't say they're playing bad either. They're just not playing to the Dodgers standard where you expect them to be the best team in baseball, by and large, not even close. But you've got Glasnow back, you got Blake Snell back, you got Yamamoto pitching well and healthy. Those three guys, I just don't see them going on these extended losing streaks where the Padres are going to be able to make up the ground. Because right now, at the time of recording, the Padres are 2 games back, which is impressive. I did not think that the Padres were going to be this close. But when you look at both of these rosters, when you look at the pitch, when you look at everything, the Dodgers are just better. So with that 2-game advantage, like if you told me they were going to play a 40-game season and the Dodgers start 2 games up on the Padres, I'd be hammering that the Dodgers win the division. So I sell this, but the Padres are sneaky good. And the moves that they made at the deadline, there aren't many teams that got better and addressed the issues that they had like the Padres did. So I get it, but I'm going to be selling because it's still the Dodgers. And until the Padres beat them, I won't believe it, especially because the Padres have been getting owned by the Dodgers this year. I think they're 2-8 this season, which means they have 3 games left, and I don't know if they're going to be able to make it up by then. And then the last and final take of the video comes in from Smuffy. He says the Brewers are actually going to do something this year. And I'll tell you what, I actually do buy this take. I think this is a year where the Brewers make a little bit of a deeper run than they have in the past. The way that they're playing right now, they've pretty much, I don't want to say it, but they've locked up missing out on the wild card games, which are huge. You don't want to play in the wild card series. You want to get to the DS. You get that rest. Everybody's fresh and ready to go. I know a lot of times these wild card teams come in hot. They end up moving on, winning games, but you always want less games when it comes to the playoffs because of how long the Major League postseason can be. This Brewers team, though, is different than Brewers teams of the past. One, they have like 7 good starting pitchers. They are loaded on the starting pitching side, where in the past, it had been a little more shaky. Freddie Peralta, Chad Patrick, Brandon Woodruff, Jacob Mizorowski, Quinn Priester, Jose Quintana. That doesn't even mention the guys that they've had in the minor leagues who would be starting on most teams in Major League Baseball. Guys like Tobias Myers, who are in the bullpen, who'd be pretty good starters for most teams. The bullpen is absolutely disgusting between Trevor McGill, Abner Uribe, Jared Koenig. Aaron Ashby has been pretty solid. Even Nick Mears is disgusting. I told you he was going to be disgusting. Take him out of Colorado, get him to Milwaukee. He's going to be nasty. And while their offense is a little bit weird, I mean, one, they are missing Jackson Chourio, which when he gets back and healthy is going to be a huge help. But William Contreras was playing injured for most of the year. He's been looking healthy recently. He's been hitting. Christian Yelich has been hitting. Isaac Collins and Bryce Trang are pests. They get on base. They've been hitting. Andrew Vaughn has been incredible since going to Milwaukee. And then the bottom of the order with like Frelick, Durbin, Perkins, Joey Ortiz. It doesn't instill fear in me, but it doesn't matter. This team plays good, fundamental baseball. They run the bases well. They play good defense. They pitch well. This is a well-run baseball team. So yes, I think that this is the year that the Brewers do a little bit more than they have in the past. So I'll be buying that take. Well done. So that's it. Buy or sell. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion on these hot takes? Remember to follow me on Twitter if you want to get involved in the next buy or sell video at GiraffeNeckMarc. Link in the description, as well as a link to download Mumu so you can get those free NVDA stocks with a qualifying deposit. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the baseball content. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye.